then I'm going to go ahead and draw that line. Okay, so there's my first line. My second line says it passes through 0, -1, 0, -1, and 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 1. So again, I'm going to draw my line here. And, I mean, just by glancing at it, this sort of looks like a right angle. But again, you don't know unless you count it and make sure it's opposite reciprocal. So again, you count your slope. Up, 1, 2. And to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I simplify that, I get 1/2. So what I have to check is, obviously I can see it's not the same, so parallel is out of the question. But what I want to check is perpendicular. So remember, perpendicular is opposite reciprocals. So if my two slopes are -2 and 1/2, is positive 1/2 an opposite reciprocal of -2/1? Yes, it is. So because it is, then because it is, perpendicular. Okay, so the last thing that you may have to do is to change, change something to perpendicular. And so if you're given, I'm going to rewrite this over here so it doesn't look funny, y equals 1/2 x plus 3. And we have to figure out an equation that's going to be perpendicular to that. And it also has to pass through this point. So first thing I'm going to do is automatically change this slope into perpendicular. So remember, if I'm trying to find parallel, I would use exactly 1/2. But because I want perpendicular, I'm going to flip it. So I'm going to change this to a 2/1 and go opposite reciprocal. So basically, I have to have something that looks like this. And again, I don't know what that is, but I do know that it must, absolutely must, then I could have this B down here be anything. But because they tell me it has to pass through this point, then I have to use that point. So because we just got done using point slope, that's probably the easiest. Y minus y1 equals our new slope, which really is going to be a -2 right here, and then x minus x1. So we're going to use the point that they told us. So my x is a -3 down here, and my y is a 1. And I got that from this right here. I have to use this point. That from this right here. I have to use this point. And then once I simplify that, that will give me my new slope, or my new equation. So again, go ahead and distribute. Change that in plus positive. -2x minus 6. And y minus 1. All I got to do is plus 1 plus 1. And my new equation is -2x plus 5. And again, I'm going to go back and check. If this slope is opposite reciprocal of the original, then I'm probably correct. So I can tell those are opposite reciprocals, and I'm probably good to go. You could also graph this and check. See if when you graph this line, see if it actually has a slope of this, and see if it actually goes through that point.